Welcome to this month's Q&A and Awakening transmission. It's going to be special because it's going to be more intimate, so we're going to have more time to go into detail to discuss what's up with those of us who are pursuing our awakening. So I'm glad you're watching this on YouTube. Before we get into it, the format's going to be a little bit different today. I'm going to start with a small teaching on the nature of mind. It's been coming up a lot with all the clients I've been doing this past couple of weeks. So I'm just going to go here so everybody can hear this. Also, I just want to do a little bit of promotion before we get started, help pay the bills and see if this stuff is useful for you and you're interested in it. If you want to join this kind of Q&A, you want to join the Becoming Awesome community, the links will be below. This is paid membership, and you get these deeper discussions about what's going on. And so please consider that. You'll also get a weekly meditation, which is just so cool, the stuff that's been happening. We've been manifesting a lot of stuff. It's not your normal meditation. The other things I want to tell you is the weekend intensive is coming up. It's March 23 and 24 all day. And some of the people who are on this call have been in that class, and the feedback has just been amazing. Why stretch it out? Why drag it out? Do as much ascension work as you can do in a weekend, and then just enjoy how the new arc of your life. Friday night, the 22nd, is free. You'll be able to participate in a process. Take a look at that. The links are below. Now, here's the big exciting news. July 3 through 7 in Western France at a beautiful chateau. It's like a castle. There will be a retreat that Tracy and I are hosting. It's 5 days and 4 nights, meals included, staying at the chateau, amazing transformative processes, only 1,111 euros for all of that included. You're not going to beat that price anywhere. We're trying to make it affordable so as many people can come to it. If you're going to be traveling and are in Europe, why not go to France for your summer vacation? If you're in Europe already, it's not that far. This is your chance. 1,111 euros, 5 days, 4 nights, meals included, amazing transformative processes. Okay, that's enough sales pitch. Let's get into this. I wanted to start talking about the nature of mind. Because as you ascend, the biggest block in your hurdle is going to be what's going on with your mind. Because your mind will be trying to stop you in many cases. It's going to eventually become your ally, but it's going to start off by trying to stop you. And so I want to talk about what mind is and how to work with it. Now, first of all, mind is not your enemy. Mind is not bad, okay? Mind, just like you, is going through an elevation in density. And when you get higher and lighter, your mind will eventually come up there with you. Now, the thing is, lower mind, localized mind, lower mind is negative and repetitive. And you know this because we've all on the planet had the thought where you did something you thought was wrong, and your mind beat you up for days, telling you, oh, you're wrong, you screwed up, you shouldn't have done that, you're such an idiot, and just on and on and on and on. Now, that's the nature of local mind because it's afraid and wants to stay in control. Now, higher mind, more elevated mind, is auspicious and creative. We create things like the internet, like airplanes, like writing books. All the cool stuff we're doing now is when we tapped into higher mind. Okay. Now, what the big teaching I want to give to you today is that mind is not yours. What? Mind is not yours. Mind is not mine. There is thinking, but no thinker. There is seeing, but no seer. There is speaking, but no speaker. Now, when I first heard those teachings, I thought, oh, this is crazy ass stuff. You know, I was like some kind of Zen going, let me figure it out. But you can't figure it out because it's not about mind. Mind is not yours. We are in a thought sphere. We are a consciousness that is able to receive and perceive what is around us, including mind and thought. And because thought happens so fast, we think it's ours. Oh, I had this thought. And then we think it's just us doing it instead of us passing through the field of mind. And we know this from many, many ways. Those of you who are on your ascension path are starting to pick up things. You're picking up other people's emotions. You're picking up other people's thoughts. And you're starting to go, oh, it's out there and I'm picking this up. When I first heard this, my teacher, Sri Bhagavan, and he's an ascendant, he's a great being. He's a master. All right, I'm talking about, there's ascended masters, and then there's those on the planet with the same skills. That's the category he's in. Now, I'm not trying to tell you need to follow him or any teacher like that. I'm just saying I was blessed to have him as one of my teachers. And he introduced me to this concept. He had a saint, a person at a saint level skills, was coming to visit him. And the person came there and Bhagavan said, hey, how was your trip? And the saint said, Bhagavan, I'm troubled. All afternoon, I've had murderous thoughts. I just wanted to kill somebody. And Bhagavan says, where'd you eat lunch? And the saint goes, oh, at this crossroad, there's a big tree. And Bhagavan, oh, yeah, I know the spot. There was a teenage boy who killed his girlfriend there a few years ago. You just picked up the energetic imprint that he was holding when he murdered her, and you've just been carrying it. Now, he didn't understand. He's a saint, and he didn't understand that he walked through a field of thought and then made it his own. And he thought, oh, I'm being murderous. I want to kill. Instead, he was just picking up the energy and not letting it go. And this is how it is with all of us. As we move into ascension, we're going to find more and more that what is around us is more able to perceive. Don't make the mistake it's you, just like don't make the mistake that your mind is you. Your goal is to become your consciousness. Your consciousness is existence and bliss. That's what it is. It's the awareness of existence and bliss put into the container you call yourself. And that consciousness holds a lot of awareness, including thought. Now, what happens for most of us is our thoughts dictate everything. In fact, one of our great philosophers, I think, therefore I am, which is insane, right? You could say, I cook, therefore I am. And you get the exact same logical tautology. It works perfectly. Or you could say, I am, therefore I am. Or just even truncate it to I am, my I am presence. That's what the truth is. So when your mind and your thoughts are telling you this, that, or the other thing, your goal, your game is to say, I hear you, mind, thank you, but I'm going to choose to be my consciousness now. Just because you tell me this, just because I thought this, so what? There's more going on around me, and I'm going to choose that. Now, mind freaks out. It's going to try to drag you down. Say, no, you can't go there. This is crazy stuff. Nobody believes it, right? But eventually, as you go up your steps of ascension, your mind's going to stop fighting you and start helping you because it's afraid it's going to be left behind. And then you're going to start accessing higher mind, which is creative and auspicious and connected. And you just have to keep making the conscious choice. I am not this thought in my head. I am my consciousness. The example I'd like to use is grandma with Alzheimer's, right? So you walk into the living room, there's grandma. She's watching a horrible TV show because that's what she feeds herself with. And you walk into the living room and she says, Peter, will you look at your hair? And you just kind of smile. And she goes, Peter, are you still wearing that? How is it you go out in public wearing clothes like that? And then she goes, are you still with that girl, Tracy? You know you can do better. And she's just going on and on and on. And she's my grams. I love her. She raised me, but she's batshit crazy. So what can you do? There's only one thing you can do. I love you so much, grams. I got to go now. You need to start having that same relationship with your mind. Acknowledge it, hear it, say, I love you. And then I choose this other experience. I choose this other set of beliefs. I choose what I'm feeling on the inside, what my intuition is telling me. That's going to free you. At the end of this, we're going to have a transmission for awakening. Guess what that transmission does? It helps quiet the mind. So if you stay through the questions and answers, those of you viewing and those of you on the call, you're going to get this transmission. Now, it's going to look like I'm giving it to you. And my mind wants to take credit for, oh, look at me, I'm cool. But really, I get out of the way. I step aside and let spirit come through. And how do you explain that to mind? You don't. How do you explain it to your friends? Oh, there was this guy I saw in a video and I looked in his eyes and stuff happened. You don't. You just treat it like grandma. Thank you. I love you. All your doubt is so beautiful, but I'm going to choose this other experience instead. That's my consciousness. That's me. So that's my meditation on mind. I wanted to start off with that. Just send us into a nice tailspin of, whoa, what are we thinking here? So if you'd like to ask a question, those of you who are in the meeting room, please raise your hand. There's a little button on the bottom where it says icons, and you can hit the hand reaction or, and then I'll ask you to unmute and we can get started. So let's start with Liza. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead, and I'm going to pin you right now. Give me a second to add you as a pin. And please ask your questions.
Thank you, Peter. It's just so remarkable that this was your topic today, because this is the question that I came here with, essentially.
Don't you love synchronicity?
It's wonderful. Yesterday, I had in quotes, come to Jesus meeting with myself, because I was like, I've had it. Look at your bookshelves. Everything is energy healing, consciousness, mysticism. I've started when I was in college, when I learned from an ashram that was on campus something about all this. And now I always think that a lot of it has to do with that I was raised by militant atheists, that I have a block on actually living what I know intuitively to be true, but I can't awaken is what I feel like. And I was so upset yesterday that it's so frustrated that I feel like I might have moved the needle a little and gotten a little but I mean, I'm even reading a book on a channeled archangels book that says to say, and it seems wonderful. I'm like, there's angels, but it says, I am surrendering to the will of God. And I'm like, okay, I'll repeat that. I joined Al-Anon. Maybe the 12 steps can help. It's like, so thank you. I get that you're saying just say thank you, mind, and no. But I'm wondering, it feels like the block is like deep.
Right. So here's something. I'm really glad you did this. I'm going to actually record a channel tomorrow, and it'll probably be a few weeks before it runs. But let me tell you this story about this other person I was with, and then we'll get specifically to your question, okay? So I'm with this guy. He's suffering in a lot of pain. All right. And he's aware, and I help him with his unconscious. I help him become aware that he's holding blocked emotions, and that's trapping him. Okay. So we get to the final blocked emotion, which is anger. Okay. And his anger happens to be towards his family, who's also in the house with him while he's doing this call with me and doesn't believe in anything that he's doing. So I'm trying to encourage him to express his anger. Yes, I got to express this. And he's like, well, I can't do that here now. And I'm like, do you understand why you're blocked? And it was like super irony, super irony. I'm angry at the people that I can't let my anger out about because they might hear my anger. Oh, and then he's wondering why it's being held with him in pain. So when you have these blockages that take place in your life and you choose not to express them over time, then it becomes old age and disease. That's how it works in a physical human body. Now, he's at that point where he has to decide what's he going to do. Now, I'm bringing this story up for you to hear because you said you have bookshelves full of stuff and you have all this experience. And I was in the hot tub this morning because that's where I do my thinking in the mornings in the hot tub. And I was talking to Archangel Michael, and I'm asking him about this very thing. And he says, Peter, what makes you different than a lot of the other channels out there? Because they're beautiful channels and they're giving wonderful messages. And from all of us in the higher realms is that you're sitting there and you bring it all back to your body. And you sit there and say, you got to go in your body and release that blockage that's holding it in place. Those of us on the higher densities don't have the bodies you have. So we can channel all forever saying, oh, yeah, just be aware of this and put your focus on it and it will change. And there's truth to that when you're at that higher level. But when you're at this density that we're in 3Ds, it just doesn't change. Now, what happens is when we have an experience and we don't fully complete it, any fully completed experience turns to bliss. When we don't fully complete it, we get that block, that energetic block, and that keeps us cut off from source. Express fully, connected to source. Keep the blockage cut off from source. So now we've been raised for whatever unconscious things that have happened to us. Okay. And we hold these blockages. What happens is we try to put a band-aid on it. Mind, because mind's your ally, it's not your enemy. It's just that it's got its negative and repetitive parts on the lower levels, puts a band-aid on it to try to ease the pain. The guy I was working with yesterday, I finally broke through and we got to his unconscious and we can find the root cause of this. He was bullied as a kid and never expressed it. And his mind kept saying, no, that can't be it. That can't be it. And I'm like, well, you just shut up and trust your unconscious for a second. Okay. Because it's usually something that simple that just keeps attracting and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So in your particular case, you're at the place where you understand there's more than just all the mental learning. You have to take the step into it. And that step is looking like what you're doing here, like the transmissions we're going to be doing later. And more importantly, it's going to be you fully expressing your experience in the moment and releasing whatever comes up. We don't need to go digging deep into our past, into our childhood to release all this. We can just use the mirror principle. If it's happening to you today in the world, then that means there's something in you that you're holding that's attracting it. Use that as your entry point to see what you need to clear. Then as you clear, apply all that book learning after you make the clearing. And then it becomes a reality. You start living it. That's the step we're taking, the transition step we're taking. Okay, I rambled a lot there. Let me know if I even came close to answering your question or you got more.
No, I'm sure you did. It's just shocking how much clearing I've already done, and yeah, there's probably that's probably what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We've done a lot of clearing, and I keep thinking I've done a lot of clearing. I used to go to Oneness University, and it would be spiritual boot camp a month at a time, and I'd clear a lot. And I'm like, so how come I'm not there yet? How come I'm not ascended? Right. That's what my mind says. Right. But what happens is you only get the experience that you allow. So you clear some stuff and then you get these nicer experiences. But guess what comes with the nicer experiences? More triggers, right? Well, I thought I cleared all that. Well, we're moving from being a 3D personality on Earth to being in connection with our soul, who is timeless, who has done hundreds or thousands of past and future lives. You think you're clearing? Look at it from that perspective. Now, there's no rush to do any of it. And there's no, oh, I got to do this because I'm going somewhere. No, no, no. It's just the game of I'm on the planet, I'm growing, I'm experiencing. This is cool. Here's something else I do. And because we're such eager beavers, us here on this planet Earth, we decided that not only would we do the clearing process like everybody's been doing across the galaxy and the universe for a long time, we'd put a new spin, a new twist on it. We would not just clear our densities and ascend, we're going to bring heaven to Earth. We're going to move into a place where we're in 5D, where we can have physicality and the mental power of creation. So, yeah, it's like, oh no, this is not just, oh yeah, let me just clear this and I'm there. This is an amazing transformation we're making. So, have heart, sweetheart. You're really doing it. Does that help?
It does indeed. Thank you.
Oh, you're such a blessed soul. Thanks for sharing this time with me. Okay, I'm gonna remove your pin and Lee. Oh my gosh, Lee, can you please unmute yourself? And I'm gonna lower your hand and go ahead and share some of that beautiful Lee with us. Come on, sweetheart.
Thank you, Peter. I like to discuss something related to multidimensionals, right? I have learned so far the reality is endless possibilities. Any scenario could happen, is there for us to grab. Depends on our perceptions, correct?
Yep.
Right? We can, if we're good enough, if we are in the heaven or fifth dimension, we should be able to pick and choose the possibility the closest to our perception. This is my understanding, right?
Yep.
So this story is related to my dog transitioned to heaven. So my question is, see, that's also my mind talking. Why I couldn't, or what I did, or did I not do to extend his life spent in the physical realm with me? So why couldn't I make it happen? Or is it because he has his own soul contract with me in that relationship? You understand what I'm saying? I'm like being puzzling. It's like my mind saying, if I did that, could that be happening? Could I save him? Or could I keep him in this world longer? Or did I not do something? Hopefully
Right.
you can help me to get to a point I can find my peace in that.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, everything you said is true, and everything you said is a creation of your mind. All right. So we're in the field of limitless possibility, right? So there's many possibilities. First of all, you have decided that length of life is what is important. Could I have extended his life longer? Maybe that's not the game. Maybe quality of life is important. Maybe trans-dimensional life is important, so that I'm here right now for a few moments, but I'm also in all these other realities and I'm aware of it. That's all possible. So you've decided length of life is what's important. And then that, because you've decided that, then that gives your mind the opportunity to beat you up. See, you didn't hold him out there longer, right? And so that's just your mind playing the game. So that's one thing. The other thing is, there's maybe not a contract with your dog, soul contract with your dog. Maybe, just maybe, you and your dog are in agreement. And maybe your dog loved you so much and still loves you so much. It says, Lee, you're ready for your next step of growth. And your next step of growth is going to involve letting me go with love instead of letting me go with worry. So I'm going to help you, and I'm going to transition now. So you're going to have that opportunity. Maybe it was a gift that your dog left.
Yeah.
And then you don't even get into the thought of the dog's got free will. Maybe it wanted to go. Right? So there's so much here. It's like you're just putting it in the judgment of what you think should be, because that's how we as people on the planet have decided our culture should be. And you should live a long time, and that's how it is. And if you don't live a long time, then I'm not loving you. And I could see what I'm saying is making you crazy, because your body language is like, roar. So anytime feel the turn, like you want to turn the camera off, let some tears out or shake it out, Lee, whatever. And know that your doggers is still there loving you, right? And whether or not you're in communication with it or feel your beautiful doggers, that's available to you or not, but the energetic is there, and you've lived with it and felt it for so long. Don't tarnish the memories of your dog with guilt. Just hold it for the love he was and enjoy the love you had. And then feel all the resistance and blockages in yourself. See how those are creations of your mind. As you feel them and release them, you'll see their creations and you'll let them go. And then you'll have whatever dog love you have, whether it's him from beyond or another dog or no dog. It won't matter, because you'll always have that connection because you're open. Does this help any, or am I just throwing it in your face? Sorry.
It's hard because I understand perfectly. That's just understanding it.
Right.
Get to the transition to let go the energy made me feel the peace is not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Would this become a trauma in me that will I have to clear in the future because I'm seems holding on to it?
See, here you go. You understand how the game is played. You feel it
Uh,
now or you feel it later. And it's not just you put it away till later. It's like works unconsciously your whole time, attracting more crap to you, and then you age and have disease on top of it. So yes, please feel it now. Go invite your sweet little dog love energy into you and turn on the tears. Do what you do that makes you cry. I don't know. I used to watch sappy movies. You know, I didn't even like the sappy ones. I used to go to the rental stores. Remember when they had video rental? Remember that thing? Anyway, I used to go to the video rental stores and say, I need a movie that'll make me cry. And they'd always give me these sappy movies and they wouldn't work. I would always cry at the success movies when somebody beat the odds to achieve, you know, like a sports movie or that. So I would just sit there at night. That was my therapy for a long time. Play this movie, cry. I wasn't able to consciously stay present with the emotion of I'm crying about this or I'm crying about that. But I opened up the tear channels. And then after I did that for a period of time, I could sit there and say, oh, no, this is what I can cry about. And because it's hard. We've spent so much of our life shutting down. I was trained to shut down. I was sexually tortured and abused as an infant. So I got it down good. You shut down to live. I got brothers and sisters, some of whom are, you know, still alive in insane asylums, basically, because that's how they were able to cope with that kind of growing up thing. All right. So it's hard. It's really, really hard. Now, all those you watching say, see, he's a crazy man. He admitted it right here, but it's true. All right, let's get back to this. We're trained in so many ways to not get to what the pain and the grief is. And your body language is telling me, seriously, I'm an empath too, as a result of all my experience. So I'm feeling what you're feeling. And if I wasn't in the middle of this call, we would immediately go into let's do a release together because I'm feeling what you're feeling. What I'm going to do when we're done is just send you some love and then do the clearings I do to clear the sadness out of me. But yeah, this is how the game is played. And that's why I said earlier, maybe your dog is actually there giving you the gift of, okay, you're ready to feel this now, Lee. I'm going to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Stay blessed, sweetheart. Okay, let me unpin you. And Miriam, could you please unmute yourself, lower your hand, and ask away, please?
So a couple things interesting, just a couple comments before I ask my question. You were talking about clearing constantly, and it just struck me how much I curse. I know people think it's offensive, but I find it to be incredibly helpful in the moment. So what you, and even sometimes it's a happy curse. I love curse. I don't understand society's problems with them because it's a really great way to move energy in the moment. So
Nothing, in my mind, nothing beats a good drive-by fuck you.
and so you
There were
always
times I'd be out on the side of the road and I'd see a cloud, and this was before I had the open channels where I could talk to entities. I'd see a cloud and I knew there was a light ship in that cloud, and I'd get out of my car and I'd scream. And this is New Mexico where you can see 30 miles in every direction. And I'd scream, show yourself, you damn people, show your, and I know, it's beautiful. Yeah, of course, be who you are. Be who you are. Don't hurt people, but be who you are.
That's hilarious that you say that because I do that with my guides. I will tell them off all the time. And it's funny because what I find is sometimes when I use that kind of energy, like seriously, this is ridiculous or whatever it is, I find that they answer me more. It's like,
It is
okay.
because how can they not when you're that authentic? That's the key, authentic.
So it's really interesting. So, and then I wanted to say to Lee, because I'm a huge dog lover and I lost my dog. I've had many dogs, but there's one dog that I still grieve about. You're grieving. You have to remember that, and that's okay. And you need to just sit with it and cry. And I don't want to tell you that it ever gets easier because my dog saved my life. She was my best friend. It's the only tattoo I have is her name, and I still cry about her. But I wanted to tell you, if you ask for a sign, they will give you one. She has actually sat on my legs before and I physically felt her. So it scared me in the moment because I'm like, oh my God, there's something on my leg. I thought like a real animal came on my leg, and then I later found out it was her. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that. So my condolences to you because I really know how bad that grief is. It's sometimes worse than the people in our life. So, but I do have a question for Peter, and I've been meaning to ask you this, Peter, for a long time. Can you share with us, this is kind of personal question about your gifts. Can you share with us what you're experiencing, either when you're channeling or just connecting with your guide? So is it clairaudient? Are you seeing things? You know, how are you experiencing that?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great question because we've been shown what it's supposed to look like. And we've had books and being told what it's looked like. And Spirit's telling me now, and I'll tell you how it works for me in a second, but my higher self is telling me now that we're going to a new way of what channeling is. It's going to be everybody to everything, where in the past it was you to one that you were connected to. And you saw that for decades, a medium, they'd call in one spirit, or, you'd call in, there's like channels for Cryon or channels for Abraham or channels for, this and that. It's not like that anymore. Okay. So imagine you're at a cocktail party in 3D and there's a room full of people and there's clusters here and individuals there. Then you can turn and talk to one of them. Or you can turn the other way and talk to a different group. And sometimes you have to get their attention. Sometimes you have to, excuse me. And other times you just right there, they walk by and you talk to them. Okay. Now imagine that without the room. Okay. So instead, there's all just impressions. There's energy impressions. I'm not a visual channel, although I do get visions sometimes. Okay. But I'm not a visual channel. There's energy impressions. So if I just stop in a second and just check in, the fields are full. And then I can look. Now I have my frequencies that I am most connected to. I talk to my sacred higher self most, right? I talk to God a lot. Sometimes I talk to Jesus. I talk to Archangel Michael a lot. So I got my favorites, okay? All right. I don't really don't, not that interested in people who are alive in the past, although I could, if I wanted to be a medium, I could do all of that too, because it's a matter of what's their address. You know how you send an email, you put an address on it, and their address is their energy signature, their frequency. So if you know their name, you can talk to them. All right. Now, I'm also pretty respectful because I set boundaries up that nobody comes into my consciousness without my permission. I don't enter other people's consciousness without their permission. All right. So when I'm doing a session with people, I ask them, can I talk to your higher self? When I want to talk to an entity, I sit there and say, hey, hello. And I'll just go to the edge of their energy field and kind of knock lightly. Hello. And they're always welcoming. They welcome me in. But still, it's a matter of respect because I want them to respect my boundaries. Now, sometimes that means I don't get as many different entities coming to me as possible because they have to knock. But the more I do this and the more I channel these kinds of messages, the more the entities that relate to this are lining up to do that. Right now, Sekhmet says, I want to say something. I'm like, okay, Sekhmet, say something. And she just wants to tell you she loves you and that you and a couple of other people who will be watching this, just check in your female goddesses. There's a lot of contact want to be made with the female goddesses in you. All right. So I know you've got your guides and everything, but they're nudging you, Miriam, and a couple of other people who'll be watching this. More female goddesses, get that, let that radiate. Okay. So anyway, so that's how that works. Now, it's not words, it's energy sensitivities. I'll get a notion of, oh, there's something here, or oh, there's something there. All right. In the early stages, it would come to me as intuition. Okay. And then I would just trust my intuition. The more I trusted, the more it opened. The more I cleared my blockages, the more I had these intuitions until it just kicked in. So then when I connect with them, I still don't hear words or nothing. I get an energy squirt. Okay. And it's like, I'm just in connection with this energy. And then my mind kicks in. Thank you, beautiful mind. See, your mind is not your energy or your enemy. My beautiful mind kicks in. And then it says, okay, I kind of think these words are or these energies are representative of this, that, and the other thing. And of course, it has to use my words because it's it's me doing it, right? So it always looks and sounds like me. And the interpretations are always in words and phrases that I understand already. Because sometimes they'll show me new stuff and I'll be just like, whoa. I had this incredible download we'll be talking about in the community next week, because last week we asked for healing on allergies, right? And so much stuff has happened as a result of that, including a whole new download on how to access energy, which I don't want to explain now because it's complicated and I'm still practicing with it. But it's like, oh my God. Now, when they present a new concept to me, it's like, all right, there's this energy. I don't understand it. So it becomes a game of how do I figure it out? So I keep picking away and playing at it and allowing it. And then eventually it shows itself to me in ways I already understand. And that takes time. I think if you look at people who invent stuff, inventors, you know, they'll say the same thing. It kind of comes to them and they work on it for years and years and years, and then they get it in a flash. But now it's a lot quicker. So I don't know if that explains what's going on or if it helps you at all, but that's kind of how it is for me. Is I'm just at a cocktail party and I sense energy and I occasionally look and let it in. And if I don't bother to look and I just stay here, I can be myself and me. And that's perfectly fine. Especially that's what I choose to do when I stew in my own shit, right? Okay. Instead of I could just connect. Does that help any?
Yeah, that's actually a lot like how I do it. I actually can pretty much call in anybody I want. So I just do that. And I find that that's safer, it's comfortable. And I do think you're right. It's not just one anymore. You can have access to anything. And that's really, I discovered that right away, that I can really connect with anybody. But I'm careful about it because I connected with somebody that I should not have connected with. So I learned my lesson.
Well, there's no should not. It's but you said, okay, I learned I don't really enjoy this energy gone.
It was actually the first energy that I connected with. It was somebody, a loved one, a deceased loved one, and it was somebody who was overwhelming in life. But I figured, well, if I can get her in here, I can get anybody. Like I'll notice her because it's
Right.
intense, and it was
Because they're
very
loud, yeah.
cool. But now I know I can call in anybody I want, and that's pretty cool. And just like you, I have my favorites, and I just prefer to talk to them. And the goddess thing I want to say was very interesting that you said that, because I've noticed that I talk to my male guides mostly, and all my life I have had this like I work in the finance business, right? It's very male dominated business. My friends were all boys when I was a kid. I was a tomboy, right? I've always had this sort of very dominant masculine energy about me. And so it's hilarious that you're telling me to
Segment was like, you want to talk about connecting? Here you go. Knock, 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 knock. And there she is
and I
over my
wore makeup
shoulder.
today, so they better be happy about it.
There she is, this white statue over here. Segment. All right. So first of all, I love you, Miriam, and I want to brag you up because I've been watching you unfold. Now you have lots of skills and abilities, but they've seemed to have been amplified since I've known you, which is really, really cool. Now,
Right.
Ego Peter wants to take credit for it and tell everybody, see, come to sessions and join our community and stuff like this happen, which is all true and everything. But the reality is you presented yourself and you were ready and you blossomed in these many ways. And this is all going to happen to everybody as quick as you allow it. And, you know, it's all the past you've done, all the teachings you've learned are perfect. They got you here. You're ready for this next step. My job, my goal for most of you watching this video, as well as pretty much everybody in the room, your next step is going to be the physical clearing, right? Finding those physical blockages and playing that game. And it seems endless at first, like when I was talking with Lee, it's like with Ilza or Liza. Okay. So it seems like it's endless. When is this ever going to stop? Right. But it's not. It's the game we decided to play here on Earth. So while you're on Earth, this is the game you play. And it doesn't have to be, oh God, another burden, another thing. It's like, I look at it now as wow, I went and got new skills and abilities today. And it's no different than if I want to go get a frozen pizza, I drive to the store and then pick my favorite one. It's no different than that. I want to get the frozen pizza, I drive to the store. I want to get the skills and abilities, I move some charges. It's just how we are in 3D until we get to the point where it's instant manifestation. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to brag you up and say how much I love you.
Thank you too, and thank you for all your help, because it was the final thing, and I did work on it very hard for many years, and I just needed that one little extra thing to get me there. So I did come to you ready. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what Archangel Michael was telling me in the hot tub this morning. He says, Peter, what makes you different is you're the guy who takes all these teachings and puts them, okay, now let's clear this in your body now. and it's bringing the body online. So then all those teachings can take place. So it's not like, oh, they're wrong and you have to replace them. It's not like that at all. It's just, this is the piece we were missing because we were so mind oriented, which is why I started out with this thing about mind telling you what's acceptable and what's not and how it boxes you in. And you can read 1,000 books, but until you actually let the expression out, it's all just here. Cool. All right. Does anybody else have a question? I don't see one raised now. So this would be a great time to ask a question because we covered a lot of ground today. And I know some of you are just happy here for the energy, but okay. I'm going to switch into, I'm going to unpin you, and I'm going to unpin me, and I'm going to switch into gallery view so we can see that everyone is here. And let's just do a little check-in. Those of you who care to, just say what the most recent miracle in your life is and what you learned from it. Because if you can own that miracles are coming to you, to me, it's an allowance. You don't do things to get them. The Spirit's always trying to give them to you. It's an allowance. If you can own that you've allowed a miracle and then explain what you learned from it, i.e., how you moved into the receptive mode instead of to the mind mode, it's going to help other people. Spirit's telling me this is going to be good for other people watching this. So who would like to share something nice that's happened in the past week or so? Don't be shy and act like you're
Well, I do.
Oh, good. Gerard, I'm going to pin you
Yeah.
now and go ahead and share, please.
Right. So I had a school reunion in the Netherlands last week. And there was one particular person that I was thinking about, and I wanted to see her. It was never a girlfriend, but somehow she was in my mind. And I knew she was coming, but there were about 1,400 people coming. It's a big school. So I didn't know when I was going to see her. But as I walked up to the school, still a bit away from the school, there she stood. And I said, "Hey, Katinka." And that just, it was as if I had pulled her towards me, or anyway, the situation just occurred as I had imagined it to be. And I had another such an example as we went to buy chickens in Château. This is a place not far from where we live. There's one person that I know there, and I wanted to see her too, but didn't have time to actually go to the place where she was. But all of a sudden, there she was in the street, and I saw her, and I said hello. And well, what am I trying to say? It's just you create it. This is the miracle. It's there. It's the desire. It's a wish, and it happens.
That is so beautiful. You allowed it. You just see, to me, that's how it is. I was discussing this with one of my friends, and I didn't get it. This was a few years ago. He said, I just say to myself, wouldn't it be nice to? Wouldn't it be nice to see so-and-so? Wouldn't it be nice to have $1,000? Wouldn't it be nice to do whatever? And then just let it go. So that's beautiful that you're at that place. And while people are watching this, I'm glad you decided to speak up, Gerard. Gerard is part of the community that, like I say, join the community if you want to get involved with this. And we do evening meditations. Gerard is hosting our European meditations. So it's going to be Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. European Central Time. For those of you who are in that time zone and want to take advantage of that, that'll be good. And then I saw Rita, you were on this call. We also have 6:30 p.m. Monday evenings, Australian Central Time. So we've got 3 different times around the globe to connect and help each other grow. So I just want to thank you for that, Gerard.
You're welcome.
Great. Anybody else want to share something, please?
I'm going to piggyback off Gerard because I made something happen the other night, and I shared this with the Daily Miracles group. I see we have a couple of people on here, but every morning and every night I practice meditation, and somewhere in that I'll pull tarot cards to see if I can get messages through my guides with these tarot cards. And the other day I did this and I had this beautiful reading, I had this beautiful spread in the morning. And then at night I went and I did this practice again. And and I only read pop outs. If you know, like while you're shuffling, a card flies out. That's the only way I'll read them. I won't pick them myself. I let my guides pick them for me. Because, you know, still not trusting myself here. But anyway, so I'm doing the shuffling and a card pops out. And the card was a card from that morning. And I said, that's interesting. And I had just channeled my guides and I said to them, if this is you sending me a message, the next card that you're going to send me is going to be X. So I did it. And I said, and I want it to pop out this way and it's going to come out. And boom, popped out. Guess what it was? It was the card. It was confirming the reading from earlier in the morning. So I just thought Gerard's story really backed that up. And things like this have been happening a lot for me, but interesting.
It's the beautiful synchronicity. And what I like about what you shared, Gerard, is it's simple things. Doesn't have to be a manifestation in the sky. Oh, I want to see this person. I want this card, Miriam.
Do you know how many
And
cards are in that deck?
I know. It is just beautiful to hear this. Okay, this is your last chance because I am going to go into the transmission unless somebody raises their hand at this time. Okay, let's get into the awakening transmission. And this is so exciting because when you do it live like this, it's so much better. So those of you who joined the community know that. Those of you watching, you still get a lot. Okay. But when you're actually making the commitment to be there, it's just something about the time and space thing. I don't understand it yet. Okay. How it works for those of you who are new to this is we're going to get into oneness. We're going to do that when I'm going to play a piece of music by Bob Yonker, one of my friends, who will be a guest musician in France this summer. So we're going to have live channeled music to help heal you and stuff. So that'll be really cool. We're going to play a piece by Bob. And the object is to get into oneness. So you're going to breathe a column of golden light from the central sun through the top of your head into your heart. Then you're going to breathe it out to everybody on the call, everybody watching the video in the past or the future, and all our spirit team that is with us. Okay? And you're going to breathe it out to them. Then you're going to breathe it back in from everybody to your heart. And then for the whole duration of the song, you'll be breathing in and out and in and out and in and out. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. As soon as that's done, I'm going to take my glasses off, get out of the way, and Divine's going to come through. And your job is to look in my eyes and receive. And Divine will appear to you however it appears to you. Okay? Some people tell me they see faces on me. Some people say they get all these different energy connections. It's your God. It's going to come to you in the way you allow it. I get out of the way. It's not me as much as I want to take credit for it. Okay. It is not me, it's spirit. And so you're just going to look in my eyes for the duration of the song. Then when that song's over, I'm going to play another song, the Liberation Sutra. The monks at Oneness used to play it. I really like that one. And you should close your eyes and relax. The transmission will still keep coming because you made the connection with me. Close your eyes and relax during that song. Let it all come to you. And voila, that's it. You've got another upgrade in your awakening. A little more quietness in your mind. So that's how it's going to proceed. Let's start to get this together. Excuse me. Okay. Please invite in your sacred higher self. Now, please invite in your spirit team, your guides, your angels. Even if you don't think you have one or know who they are, just allow, invite. And now, please bring in the source itself. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. That's strong. Gaia, gosh, we love you, Mother Earth. Spend a moment thanking Gaia for the existence we get to have on her. And also gratitude that we get to be here. Ask her to be in this meditation. And your ancestors, your ET friends. And now we put out an open call to all beings of high frequency and service to love and light, any entities that are interested in the awakening of humanity. We ask you to be here now and assist. Ooh, a lot showed up. This is cool. Good. Now during the song, breathe in from the sacred central sun through the top of your head into your heart. Exhale it to the entire group, everybody watching, all the spirit we called in, everybody on the call. Then inhale it. For the duration of the song, breathe it in and out. And here we go. Now just look into my eyes and let Source come to you. It's not me you're looking at. Just allow Source to come through what you see. Now close your eyes and rest. The transmission will continue through this next song. Just let it take place. Relax in your chair.
तस्य विमुक्तिः एतस्मात् इन्द्रियाणां विमुक्तिः एतस्मात्
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Oh my gosh. I don't know how that was for you, but oh man, it was really powerful at first, and then all this grief was coming through, and I think it's the divine connecting to our grief that those of us are holding and helping to open up and transmute it, because once that came through, then I was so much lighter on the inside. My heart was just so much more open. So I hope you all had a good experience. I had a great one, just being the observer of the channel of it. Anyway, I'll see you all again. We do this every month on the Patreon community. So look at the links below if you'd like to join and get involved, as well as the weekly meetup, which is kind of cool, because let's get those skills and abilities and ramp them up there. It's time for doing. Window shopping time is over. It's time for doing. And if you like this, do the weekend coming up, 23rd and 24th, or the free evening on the 22nd. Just intensely immerse yourself in the field and reap the benefits of having to do that. Even if you've taken it, you can go deeper. Okay. And maybe I'll see you in person in France in July 3 through 7, because why not just dive in deep and have it all happen? Many blessings to you. Catch you soon.
Yeah.